Good morning, collective. Come make coffee with me this morning. My son don't have school today, which I'm kind of mad about because nobody texted me. I never got that notification from the app on my phone. So, wah, wah, wah. But in any case, there's a lot of things happening today. Some trines, some sextiles, some conjunctions going on today. I don't know, but today is going to be a really big day for mental clarity, heightened intuition. So just kind of pay attention to gaining breakthroughs today. Thank you. My son's been picking me flowers all morning. Since he don't have nothing to do, since he don't have school today. But kind of pay attention to how themes play out for you today. And tomorrow, I'm also going to post my energy update for Gemini season. Gemini season is going to be really big as we are being prepared for Mercury retrograde, especially in terms of Mercury now stationed in Gemini, which is its home sign. And I believe that was on Saturday or it was either the 17th or the 18th, so Sunday or Monday. But now this is helping with more healthy forms of communication, healthy forms of expression. And that's why I definitely wanted to do a energy update for Gemini season. I don't normally do energy updates for zodiac seasons unless I know there's something big around that season that's coming up. But also too, as we are coming out of this new moon in Taurus, it still feels like a need for us to kind of work around things that make us comfortable, work around how we are allowing ourselves to receive, working around our relationship with money, our relationship with love, only because that Venus energy is really strong right now. Especially yesterday, if you watch my video, Venus is currently in Cancer. So now this is just working on all of our emotional parts, big emphasis on sacral chakra energy, doing sacral chakra work at this time. I know that was a theme for the collective, including myself, around the full moon in Scorpio. There was a lot of healing work. There was a lot of, attention to the sacral chakra. And so now I feel like if you were doing the sacral chakra work during that full moon in Scorpio, I feel like now is like a really pivotal time for you to, reflect back on the last couple weeks and think like, okay, when this first came to my attention, or when it was first brought to my attention, around your emotion, around your vulnerability, around how you're allowing yourself to create. Think of, even though it's only been a couple weeks, think of the progress you've made since then. You know what I mean? And this is real big on sexual healing, womb cleanses, especially in terms of cord cutting, cord removal, just releasing the attachment to something. Okay, there goes my teapot again. That's confirmation. But it's like, as long as you are still continuing to, work on those inner parts of yourself, your divine femininity, this is helping you in every aspect with how you're moving forward. This is helping you with, like I said earlier, how you're receiving, how you're allowing yourself to be able to create in these new spaces. We are, creating something that is going to be everlasting. And I've been seeing lately a lot of videos on social media about people saying that this time that we're in right now feels a lot like 2020. And if you can think back to, this is also a trigger warning, because a lot of people went through some rough shit in 2020. I did. I lost my mom 2 weeks before I had my son in 2020. I was pregnant. I had hyperemesis. I was sick. I was going through it emotionally. I was abused that year while I was pregnant. 2020 was devastating, you know. Eventually there was light at the end of the tunnel, but I feel like in terms of this year feeling like 2020, there's going to be a lot of realization around how you're providing stability for yourself. You know, a lot of people became content creators and entrepreneurs during COVID, during 2020. So now here we are in 2026 and we're coming into that same theme. It's probably your calling now. It's probably time for you to focus on what you can do for you and your family. And as we are working through that sacral chakra, as we are working through, you know, diving into that ancestral memory and releasing patterns and behaviors, it's going to be really important that some of us at least take into consideration the fact that some of us are not meant to work a 9 to 5. You know, especially if you have children, that's more stress on you, because you're not able to fully be there to the capacity you need to be for your family, you know? And so now in these new spaces, you know, not only about the business, but we're also being called to like step into our purpose now, you know? And if you're giving yourself the permission to do that, Spirit is going to provide a way for you. You know, Spirit will provide the resources and the funds or the safety and protection, security, whatever it is needed in order for you to be able to provide for your family, you know. And because there's so much work around sacral and so much work around the divine femininity, this is, you know, allowing us to release that codependency so that we can become more free, more independent, you know, breaking cords from people, places, and things, and most especially distortion and or personal beliefs around government and how maybe the government supported you or helped you to some extent. You know, now in these times that we're in, it's really about us focusing on that freedom and independence and how we can do it for ourselves. Look at all these flowers my son got me. But there's just going to be a really big need for us to release that codependency and understand that, you know, we do have the ability to take care of ourselves. And Spirit also wants me to make it clear to you that when it comes to, it's okay, just pour it out. When it comes to the codependency, you asking for help is not codependent. Codependency is you expecting other people to do things for you because you feel like you're entitled to do so. Okay, that's a big difference. Codependency is you having a habit of relying on others to do something when to some certain capacity you have the ability to do it for yourself. Okay, so Spirit is kind of asking you to, you know, build up that strength within yourself so that you're able to fully, you know, provide for yourself. You know, however, you asking for help is not a codependent trait. You know, that is you being vulnerable enough to accept that, you know, you can't do everything on your own. That's that 9 and 10 of wands energy that's coming through. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Like you're wounded about something, so you still have your guard up, but the 10 of wands is also releasing your burdens, feeling oppressed. So now you need help for something. You know what I mean? So just allow yourself to be able to understand the difference, because as we're coming into these new spaces, there is no more room for codependency. Okay. So allow yourself to work on that. Do some shadow work around that, and do some shadow work around how you can create something so you can provide yourself some, you know, supplemental income and some independence for yourself so that you're able to pull away from that 3D concept or distortion about, you know, I need others to give me a job or, you know, to take care of me so I can take care of my family. Okay. So I'll catch you in the next one.